to show you this book. It has some really cool pictures in it, and it's going to help me to explain some things that might be kind of hard to explain otherwise. It's called The Sky is Full of Stars. This part I can read okay, but some of the pages have a ton of words. Would you mind helping me read? Of course I'll read. It's no problem. Have you guys met Emily? Can you just stick your head down here for a sec? Sure. Hi, I'm Emily. All right. Anyway, she's going to read part of it to us. But I'm going to read this part. The Sky is Full of Stars by Franklin M. Branley, illustrated by Felicia Bond. So here, the part I love about it is that it's got these kids on bikes. I can't ride a bike. My legs aren't long enough, but I think bikes are so cool. Anyway, I'm going to skip right to this page. How cool is this? See, all these kids are going and riding their bikes out at night. I love living in the city, but I would love sometime to live in a place where I could ride my bike at night. I think that would be really exciting. Can you read this part? Yeah, sure. On a clear, dark night, go outside and look at the stars. Stars are to the east of you and to the west. Stars are north of you and south of you. Stars are overhead. They are all around you. The sky is full of stars. Look, the kids are spreading out a blanket, and they're going to look up at the stars. They laid all their bikes down. See? They laid all their bikes down over there. And their houses are way over there. And they're spreading out their blankets here. This is the part I wanted you to read. Can you read this part, please? Of course. You may see stars that are in one part of the sky early in the evening have moved to another part later that same night. That is because stars rise and set just as the sun does. When a star is rising, it is in the eastern sky. Later on that night, the star will be in the western sky. It will set below the horizon just as the sun does. So look at this picture. So there's a star right there. See the arrow pointing at it? And the lights are on in the house. So it's still like maybe the kids are getting ready for bed, brushing their teeth, hearing a story. And in this picture, see how all the lights are out? So it's later that night, everyone's asleep, and look, the star has moved over here. So it was in the eastern part of the sky earlier in the night, and then as time passed, it went down to the western part of the sky. Does that remind you of anything? Something rising in the east and setting in the west? Yeah, the sun. Anything else? The moon. The sun and the moon rise in the east and set in the west. And do you remember why? Are they really rising in the east and setting in the west? The earth is spinning, and that's making it seem like the sun and the moon are rising in the east and setting in the west. But really, the earth is spinning, and it makes it look like things are moving. So it's the same thing with the stars. The earth is spinning, and that makes it look like the sun and the moon and the stars are rising in the east and setting in the west. So cool, right? So cool. Why, I wanted to show you the next page too. You notice how in this picture, all the kids are dressed for winter? And in this picture, he's dressed for summer. So what do you think these pages are going to talk about? The seasons. You're right. Can you read this part, Emily? Sure. At different times of the year, you will see different stars in the sky. On a clear night in December, you might see a very bright blue star. Its name is Sirius. That must be it right there. But if you looked for Sirius in June, you wouldn't be able to see it. On June nights, Sirius is on the other side of the world. Summer stars are different from winter stars. I bet that has to do with the way the Earth is tilted. Remember when we were learning about how there's seasons because the Earth is tilted toward the sun? I bet that's why we see different stars in winter and summer too. I bet that's why. Look, I just love this book. Look, here's some people a really long time ago when everyone wore dresses. And they're looking out the window and seeing constellations. I like that rabbit. Hey, look! There's the Big Dipper. That's my favorite constellation. That one, that's the one I can always find. The other ones I have trouble. Sometimes I can find Orion, but I can always find the Big Dipper. The other thing I love about the Big Dipper is that if you draw a line in your imagination from this star to that star, it points to the North Star. So it's an easy way to find the North Star. So if you were outside at night and you needed to know which way was north and you didn't have a compass, you could look at those stars and find out. I think that is just so cool. And even though the stars are always moving in the sky, these two always point north because they kind of spin around it over the course of the night. Yeah. The Big Dipper is part of this constellation called Ursa Major. In other words, the Great Bear. But I find this one a little hard to believe. Look, the bear has a tail. Have you ever seen a bear with a tail? No. Anyway, I do love it though that you get to use your imagination when you make constellations. Anyway, I love this picture too. Of the kid's lying on the ground eating a sandwich and his cat fell asleep on him. Oh, it's just so cozy. So anyway, I wanted to be sure to let you know that the stars move at night and that they rise in the east and set in the west, just like the sun and the moon, and for the same reason too, because the earth is turning. And I wanted to let you know that the constellations are different in the summer than the winter because of the way the earth is tilted. And also I just wanted to remind you that if you can ever find the Big Dipper in the sky and it looks like a scoop, like something you might scoop water with or whatever, that if you draw a line connecting these two stars from the bottom to the top, boink, it'll point to the north. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.